One night, an entire village went to sleep, and by morning it was gone. No screams, no fire, no bodies, just empty homes and silence. Nearly 200 people vanished without a trace. Families, children, neighbors who had lived side by side for generations. It wasn't a war zone. It wasn't a disaster area. It was a quiet, ordinary place. And even today, no one can fully explain what happened that night. The village sat tucked between dense forest and rolling hills. Isolated but peaceful. A place where everyone knew each other. Where doors were left unlocked. Where evenings meant lantern light glowing through windows and the smell of food drifting into the cool air. Children played in the dirt roads until sunset. Farmers rose early with the sun. Life was simple, predictable, safe. At least, that's how it seemed. Because in the days leading up to the disappearance, small things began to feel off. Dogs barked at nothing. Livestock grew restless. And some villagers claimed the forest didn't feel the same anymore. But no one imagined what was coming. The night it happened, the air felt heavy, too still. Some said there was a low hum, barely noticeable at first, like something vibrating deep beneath the ground. Others reported strange lights beyond the tree line. Not lightning, not lanterns, something else. A few villagers later claimed they woke up in the middle of the night, for no clear reason. They described a feeling they couldn't explain. Dread, as if something was watching. Then, just before dawn, a storm rolled in, but it wasn't like any storm they had seen before. No thunder, no wind, just a thick, unnatural fog that swallowed everything. And then, nothing. The next morning, a traveler passed through the village. At first, nothing seemed unusual, until he noticed no one was outside. No voices, no movement, no life. He stepped further in. Doors were open. Meals sat untouched on tables. Fires had burned out in hearths. It looked like everyone had simply walked away at the exact same time. But there were no footprints leading out of the village. No signs of struggle. No signs of panic. Just absence. Something was terribly wrong. Word spread quickly. Authorities arrived. Investigators searched every inch of the area. But this is where the story gets strange. There were no tracks leaving the village. No carts missing. No supplies taken. It was as if the entire population had vanished in place. Some believed it was a sudden evacuation. But why leave everything behind? Others suggested an attack. But there were no weapons. No damage. No evidence of violence. Then came darker theories. Kidnapping. Mass abduction. But how do you remove hundreds of people silently, without waking a single neighbor? And then the theories turned even more unsettling. Some believed it wasn't human at all. What investigators discovered next shocked everyone. At the edge of the village, near the forest, they found footprints. Dozens of them, all leading toward the trees. But after a certain point, they just stopped. No return tracks. No continuation. As if the people simply disappeared mid-step, deeper in the forest. Search teams reported something even stranger. Symbols carved into tree trunks. Crude, repetitive, almost ritualistic. No one knew who made them, or when. And then there was the journal, recovered from one of the homes. The final entry was written just hours before the disappearance. It read, "Something is calling from the forest tonight. I don't think we should ignore it." After that, nothing. Years passed, then decades. Modern researchers returned, hoping new technology could uncover what was missed. They scanned the ground, analyzed soil samples, studied the surrounding environment. Some experts suggested a rare natural phenomenon, a gas leak, a hallucination-inducing toxin. But that didn't explain the precision, or the silence. Others pointed to mass hysteria, a shared delusion that caused the entire village to leave at once. But again, where did they go? No mass graves were ever found. No remains. No trace of survival. And the deeper they looked, the darker it became, because no theory could explain everything. Today, the village no longer exists. Nature has reclaimed it. Trees now grow where homes once stood. The roads have vanished. The silence remains. But some who visit the area claim the story isn't over. They say the forest still feels wrong, too quiet, and sometimes at night there's a sound, a low hum, faint, distant, almost like something beneath the earth, still waiting. Maybe the village didn't disappear. Maybe it was taken. And whatever happened that night left no one behind to tell the story.